1226 this morning, weekday mornings from 4:30 to 7. From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
Hundreds of people gathering at the Glenn County Courthouse today to show support for Ahmaud Arbery's family as pretrial motions begin in this trial. But first, a storage shed at Burke County Sheriff's Office burning down, leaving the historical data and the old case files inside destroyed.
Hey, it's gonna be the record shed. Get across the street, slowly and go. Let them know we got gallons of gas in that shed as well.
That audio is from Burke County Dispatch as they responded to the fire Saturday night. The sheriff telling us today it all started with a cigarette.
Our Sloan O'Connor live at the sheriff's office now with what comes next. Sloan.
Sheriff Alfonso Williams says that this situation makes it clear they need more space. I mean, you can literally look straight through what used to be the wall to the storage unit and see hundreds of charred papers, manila folders, and other random storage items. And he says that he needs all of these items to be kept inside to prevent another potentially dangerous situation like this.
Dispatch all responding units to the detention center. Caller stated that the record shed was on fire.
The law for the retention of records explains how long files, evidence, and cases need to be kept. It says they need to be kept in an office or storage area, but it does not specify how they need to be stored.
I don't think that we were storing any files in violation of those record retention policies. But it's just a situation where we're out of space, and we kept certain records inside the building and certain ones in the storage unit.
The open cases, personnel files, evidence, and more important files are inside, but their storage unit is filled with thousands of now burnt old case files, old evidence, historical data, and old docket booklets. The shed is just that. There are no sprinkler systems, fire alarms, nothing despite what's kept inside.
There were not fire retardant walls or fire-rated walls, but we do not believe that was necessary for the types of files that we had stored there.
Sheriff Williams says on Saturday night there was only one person working in the administration building, and because everything went into flames so fast, the guards on duty at the detention center did not see it on their rounds. But there's constant security video which shows two people driving by who got out, tried to put the fire out, and got help.
It's not the end of the world. It's a great loss, but we just need to find a way to recover from it.
Sheriff Williams says that he reached out to commissioners to figure out exactly what they're going to do for the future of their storage. I reached out to them as well, and I'm waiting to hear back.
Let us know when you do. Thank you, Sloan. Sheriff Williams also tells us he will release that surveillance video once the entire investigation is wrapped up. But a lot of damage over there in a sensitive area of law enforcement.
And damage that remains to be seen, right? Once they start looking for files that
you don't know what you're missing yet.
Break. Taking a look outside. Our I-Team has teamed up with a sister I-Team in Wichita, Kansas. We uncovered a scam spanning multiple jurisdictions, multiple states, and now the FBI is investigating and interested in a dirt road in North Augusta. Delpha Schrader lives more than 1,000 miles away from here in Wichita, Kansas.
You be blessed.
She lives on a fixed income and tries to make every penny count, which is why she is sick to her stomach thinking about the $1,500 she recently shipped overnight to South Carolina.
And she said it's not a loan, but it's a grant from the government.
Scammers spoofing her cousin's Facebook profile to earn her trust, passing her around to official sounding people on the phone, mixing in real, verifiable businesses like senior benefit assistance with fake employees like Ellen Bradley.
Your name is picked randomly.
But unlike other scams asking for green dot cards or wiring money, she mailed $1,500 in cash.
Wasn't that stupid?
To an address in North Augusta, South Carolina.
The desk that I sent to this Charlotte Luker in Augusta, South Carolina.
Now, more than 1,000 miles away from Wichita, Kansas, this is where the plot really thickens down this dirt road. Sometimes scammers will use a P.O. box or even a one-day Airbnb rental to receive packages.
Voicemail.
But Charlotte Luker, a real person, lives here.
I'm going to wear
News 12. Do you know the lady who lives next door?
Yep, Miss Charlotte.
Miss Charlotte, is her last name Luker? Charlotte Luker? UPS confirmed she signed for Miss Delpha Schrader's package on May 27th.
They're stealing people's money, exactly what it is. And people are, like me, give it to them.
Does she get a lot of packages next door? A lot of, like, deliveries? Do you see delivery trucks? Or...
I have in the past. Yeah, because I got cameras. I see that all the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, I see it. Always FedEx or UPS coming up and down.
Sure enough, on one of our visits to try to reach Miss Luker, look at this. Overnight delivery FedEx. From an address in Irwin, Pennsylvania. Our sister station spoke with Luker's daughter on the phone. She didn't want to go on camera, but the property is in her name, and her mother lives there.
This has been going on with her mom for the last 3 years or so. She says she gets packages all the time that have money. She takes those packages, keeps a little bit of the money, and then ships them out to people overseas.
Because her husband died, and she used to come over here asking for money.
Yeah.
And I know she don't have any money.
So is she a victim herself? We've called her, knocked on her door several times, reached out on Facebook, but we haven't been able to ask her that ourselves. But our I-team did find an incident report Luker filed in Aiken County in May of last year. She noticed $3,000 had been wired to her account from the UK. She continued to use her account, thinking the money would be taken back. She went to her bank and they told her to file this report.
She also had lost a ton of money herself to what we believe to be a scam artist.
That's the Sedgwick County District Attorney up in Kansas. After we confirmed Charlotte Luker is a real person with a real address, Delpha Schrader filed a police report up in Kansas.
The extradition cost to fly her back here would be more than the restitution we could get from her.
The time this case would take to figure out at what point, if any, Luker became a knowing participant, victimizing others, would not make sense for their jurisdiction for a $1,500 case.
I could bring this woman back, hang her upside down by her ankles in front of the courthouse, and no money's going to fall out.
So they closed their case. But how often do local jurisdictions decide the payoff isn't worth it? Our I-team found another case, never prosecuted, involving Luker out of Massachusetts for a larger sum of money, $12,000. A lady named Antoinette claims back in June of 2020, she received a text from who she thought was her friend Nick. Nick asked her to send $12,000 to Charlotte Luker in South Carolina. Fake Nick told her he would receive a large sum of money in return. Antoinette says she mailed the money FedEx and realized it was a scam when they asked her to send more money.
But the reality is, we do these kind of conversations regularly because it is the only way I know of to ensure that people get their money back is to not lose it in the first place.
Filing a police report doesn't seem to be the answer. This is a letter to North Augusta Public Safety from Wooster investigators. They determined the crime happened in North Augusta, and it would be up to investigators here to figure it out, which seems to be conflicting information.
South Carolina, Georgia, whatever it may be, in Texas, wherever the person may be, they don't have jurisdiction over our victims' victimization. That takes place here.
Passing the buck. But now we are hoping the buck stops with this scam. Since our I-team learned the FBI is now investigating this case. Victims say they just want justice and assurance this doesn't happen to anyone else. So where does this case go from here? The Sedgwick County DA referred the case to the FBI. We submitted everything we found to the FBI's case file as well, but the FBI does not comment on their investigations until it's case closed. So we'll keep following up on that and let you know.
To weather now as we give you a live look out. Mikhail, thank you. Today, noticeable changes near the new Gate 6 entrance at Fort Gordon. New lights now flashing there in preparation for the new gates to open this weekend. Gate 6 opens Saturday.
It is on Gordon Highway between Parham and Newmantown Road. And when that gate opens, gates 2 and 3 will close. Celeste Springer line to break down what you need to know if you drive along Gordon Highway.
And there's absolutely a lot that people need to keep in mind. Starting Saturday, tens of thousands of cars will flow through here. And if you were out here today, you may have noticed that this light is blinking. It's working. It's up and running right now, but just yellow. Come Thursday, that's going to start blinking red and green. And I'm told that is the final bow on top of a package 3 years in the making. Arthur E. Lamb has seen a lot of change in his 20 years living off Gordon Highway.
It's just bad. I mean, even the raccoons are gone. The possums are gone. There ain't much left.
And he hasn't been a huge fan of the road work at Gate 6 just outside of his house.
They've been playing around with the road. One day they got it paved, next day they put more pavement down.
But all the work is just about to be done. All that change means GDOT is asking you to pay attention out here.
In addition to going from 2 to 4 lanes, you're going to have a traffic signal that's active where you normally didn't have one. So folks need to be very alert there.
And down the road at the soon-to-be-closed Gate 2,
you will no longer be able to do what these vehicles are doing right now. You're either going to have to turn left heading towards Augusta, or you're going to have to turn right heading towards the new Gate 6.
Crews will restripe this road Saturday morning. After that, going straight through this intersection won't be an option.
And we just ask folks to pay attention, lift your head up, look at the signage, pay attention to the signals, the striping. It's going to be a lot different in this area later this week.
And GDOT hopes people paying attention to their surroundings will ensure smooth stops, smooth turns, and a smooth transition. And while I've been out here today, I've noticed that there was already some confusion over the flashing yellow light. Some people were treating it like a four-way stop. So if you're driving through this area, definitely pay attention and assume there might be other confused drivers on the road. And remember, again, starting Thursday, that the lights here will become fully operational.
Big changes surrounding Gate 6. Thanks very much, Celeste, for that. Sports coming up next. The Braves win again in...
Thanks for watching News 12 on your side.
From the station that's on your side, this is News 12 at 6 o'clock.
4 Richmond County deputies are on leave after a traffic stop takes a fatal turn. Tonight, we're hearing from the mother of Jermaine Jones, who says she's waiting on body cam video to paint a full picture.
I just want answers, because nobody's child deserves it. Once these videotapes come back, they'll hear a whole lot more.
24-year-old Jermaine Jones died yesterday after spending the last week in a coma on life support.
He was hospitalized after being tased during a traffic stop last Monday. The incident report says he was tased after running from deputies when they found a handgun and crack pipe in the car.
News 12 Celeste Springer is following this story for us, and she is live from the sheriff's office with the question that Jones's family says they want answered. Celeste.
Well, there's a lot of questions, the biggest being what left Jermaine Jones brain dead, of course, and what I'm learning today is that there's a lot of questions of whether it was the taser, whether it was his head hitting the ground, or possibly family is left wondering, could it have been something that happened to him after he was taken into custody? Of all the questions of what put Jermaine Jones here, there are some things known for certain, according to his family.
I knew when I walked up there yesterday, before the doctors even told me. When I walked in there, I knew my son was gone. There was nothing nobody could have said.
And there's other things we've found out for ourselves. One, investigator Russell, the one who pulled the trigger on the taser, renewed his certification to do so last year. According to a 2019 RCSO handbook, that taser would have recorded how long Jones was tased for and put in a report. 2, one of the deputies at the scene, Deputy Leslie Gator, was also investigated last August for rushing towards a woman recording her son's arrest. And 3, body camera footage for this case could mean answers.
I don't have faith in the justice system, but I'm not going to give up.
Meanwhile, the GBI and Sheriff's Office have their own digging to do. Jones's death means one new piece of evidence, an autopsy.
I want my son's name. He's going to be heard till I can't shout it no more.
When body camera footage is released, family tells us they plan to protest.
Once these videotapes come back, they'll hear a whole lot more.
And we requested that body camera footage, personnel files, the use of force taser incident report, and I also asked about what the outcome of that case with Deputy Gator was back in August. I'm told that in that case, Deputy Deputy Gator was not put on administrative leave, but they're unable to provide us with any other details. And with that in mind, though, remember that because this is an ongoing investigation, the GBI and the Richmond County Sheriff's Office are unable to disclose a lot of details about this case.
And the next time we can really expect an update is when the GBI closes this out and decides whether or not they will present it to a grand jury. Celeste, thanks for all of those updates out there today.
Also this evening, new details.
And see a beautiful weekend in store with lots of dry weather heading towards next week.
Miguel, thank you. New businesses, new housing, of course, more people. That's what city leaders want to see in Augusta's opportunity zones.
Today, commissioners voted to renew the Laney Walker and Harrisburg neighborhoods as opportunity zones, meaning they can try to attract new businesses by offering them tax credits. Here's our Sloan O'Cone with what this means for those areas.
We have a need for some of the older neighborhoods to have some new development and then some complementary development.
Carla Delaney, the director of Augusta's Planning and Development Authority, says it's change she saw even before she started working for the city.
I know what it used to look like 10 years ago and how there were no businesses in some of these buildings, and now some of these buildings have undergone upfit and a facelift.
It's all about making the old look new with renovations, while the new businesses, homes, and apartments join them. When a building or a business qualifies, they get a tax break for 5 years and slowly have to pay them by 10 years.
Create that new job, get a tax credit for it, and get a tax break for it. So they get an opportunity to actually not only just break even, but turn a profit before they have to experience the increase in property taxes.
But there is still a lot of work to be done, especially in the Laney Walker area, where almost half of the homes and buildings there are empty.
Now, if your property or business does qualify in one of those zones, you have to make sure to enroll every year. Those tax benefits, they say, do not roll over.
There's a new building on campus at USC Aiken. This was the scene today as crews cut the ribbon on the new home for Aiken Scholars Academy. The school first opened in 2018 in the Ruth Patrick Science Education Center, but now they have their very own space. If you're interested in learning more about the academy, we do have their website listed there on your screen, and we're told applications for next school year will be open soon, sometime this fall, so keep a lookout.
Just ahead in sports, college football, and a big update for the Gamecocks as they get